All right, guys, I'm dry fitting everything. I just got through cutting the corners out down here on all four corners. I got it all cut to length, width, height. The frame itself is glued and screwed, but the top is just sitting on there and that shelf down there is just sitting on there. And of course it hadn't been stamped, still got a ton of sanding to do. But I just wanted to put the shelf in, make sure it was gonna fit, and put the top on it. Of course, when I'm doing stuff, something always goes haywire. I put me a nice little gouge in it right there when I was cutting a while ago, and so I'm gonna do some creative sanding because I'm not cutting it off any shorter. And you can see my little boo-boo right here because it's cut to length. But I think what I'm gonna do is take a angle grinder and kind of round these edges over and kind of make this end and that end also look like this, the live edge. And I left me enough down there that if I want to, I can go ahead and do the same thing down there. Make it easier on the toe bones and just make it look a little more like this up here down there. So it's not just a square blunt edge. But and I'm gonna round these corners completely off and kind of bring them in and tuck them in. And my bow is, I haven't done any sanding or anything to it. It's just been sitting here for a few days now. And the bow is just about gone out of it. It's got a little bit left in there, but I had about 400 pounds sitting on top of it, I'd guess. And that's looking pretty good as far as that goes. But this is what I've been working towards all this time. And it's looking pretty good. I've got the reason I went all the way to the bottom like that is so if I wanted to leave enough room so in the future, if we ever got any different bar stools, they would fit too, hopefully. But I wanted to have a nice solid foundation for my rollers that I'm gonna put underneath this thing, and I can screw it right straight to that 1.5 inch thick piece of oak down there. But whew, that was a lot of work getting it this far, a whole lot of work. Like I said, I've got a lot of sanding and stuff like that to do on this thing. I just wanted to dry fit everything and just see how things are going. And I live in a small town. Of course, I start running out of screws for my Harbor Freight. It's kind of like a Craig's, a Craig jig, but it's the Harbor Freight version. And I started running out of screws. So I went and looked at a couple different places. Of course, nobody in this little town has those kind of screws, so I did a little improvising on that too. Now I need to find my my Z clips, and cut my notches in for those. I want to get all the cutting and all that kind of stuff done before I start sanding on it, because once I get all the grinding and sanding and stuff done this time, the next step is epoxy. All right, yeah, I need to epoxy and then sand it down again and then go with the finish. So we're getting closer and closer. Well, I just thought I'd take a quick little shot of this and show you guys how this thing was starting to look. And I cut off, like I said, the length is where it's gonna be on the top and bottom, other than what I take off of it whenever I take this off. I can't decide if I want to just use a round over bit or just go real aggressive with an angle grinder and go from there. I think I'm going to go real aggressive with an angle grinder and try to make it look more like this. All right, guys. Well, I just thought I'd show you what's going on. And that's how much this slab weighed a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know what it's down to now. I need to weigh it again and just see how things are going. See, here's what the weight was a few weeks ago. Before that, 107 pounds. And the very first time I ever weighed this, I believe it weighed 114 pounds, if I remember correctly. Well, you guys have a good day, and thank you very much.